Initial impressions of tomorrow. This is the biggest game Arkansas has probably had in a long time.
I think so. I'll tell you, I think it's really exciting. I think the fan base is going to be pumped. I had a chance to work out in the facilities, awesome facilities, by the way, and you could just feel the excitement. I think Arkansas still has a little ways to go to be where they want to be, but I think it's hard as just a fan of college football and a fan of the SEC not to kind of fall in love with this team a little bit, though. You just watch it, how hard the players play. You look at, Jalen and Bumper and Grant and these guys and how far they've come, and in the last 2 years, where they were and where they are now, and just how competitive they are. And haven't all turned out to be wins, but I think you see what Sam Pittman's doing, and you talk to the coaching staff, and I think it's a lot of good men treating these players, and loving them, caring about them, respecting them, building them up. And then you see, honestly, one of the hardest playing teams in football doesn't, necessarily always, look the way they probably want or execute or probably put as many points as they wanted last week. But I think as a fan of football and as a fan of coaches doing it the right way, you look at Arkansas and you give them a thumbs up for that.
What do you see KJ's development at right now? Where he's at?
Well, I think he's a really good athlete that at times can really look the part and make some really good throws, really good plays. I think one of the tougher things is consistency, especially in SEC play, when every third down is key. When every time you get it in the red zone, you have to be able to put it in, especially if you want to upset a Texas, or you want to be able to knock off an Auburn or an Alabama or an LSU. I think that's going to be where he can make the next step. Does he have the talent and the ability? Absolutely. Can he make the plays with his leg and bump off defensive ends and run and get 50? Sure. But also in this league, you got to be able in the pocket, in that RPO, to stand in there and make the throw. And I know that he can. It's just about being able to do that over and over again.
What do you think is more at stake tomorrow? Arkansas trying to kind of turn the page and get that big win, or Texas trying to prove they belong in the SEC?
I think there's probably even more questions than just those two. I think there's a lot of pressure on both schools, but I think Arkansas is going to make the turn. I don't know if it happens now, but I think in this coaching staff, I think they will. They've been making it, and I think that will continue. And probably right now there's a little bit more pressure and hype around Texas, and it's probably because of what Sark did last year at Bama and it being Texas. But I also think just because this is such an old rivalry and people care so much about it, I think that means there's a lot at stake.
You've played in a lot of big games. How do the Arkansas guys tune out the noise of all of this?
Why tune it out? I mean, if that makes you play better, do it. Not embrace it. This thing's going to be packed. Your state's going to be watching. The country's going to be watching. Embrace it. Rise up to the moment. I mean, have fun with it. You don't get a lot of opportunities on national TV to play your rival in front of thousands of fans that are cheering for you with momentum behind you. Go out there and play free and reckless abandon. I think it's a chance for Arkansas to. I don't think they have all the pressure in this game. I think there's more on Texas. I think they can play free and see if they can go pull an upset. So for me, that's how I would think about it. Again, just embrace the moment.
What does the defense have to do to really keep Arkansas in the game and give them a chance to win?
I think don't give up the big plays, especially against Bijan Robinson. I think he's one of the better players in the country. I think one of the things that Arkansas has done so well over the last year in a game is not give up that dagger, right? It's you give up first downs, right? And playing those three safeties and okay, you give up yards, but then when you keep them out of the end zone, when you get the tips and overthrows, last year, Ole Miss was, in my opinion, a better team than Arkansas. But because of they stay true to the game plan over, and you saw Ole Miss press, and then they get tips, and that's how Arkansas was able to win that game. And I think, obviously you can't count on 6 interceptions, but on that same mentality, right? We're gonna play to who we are. We're gonna keep it in front of us. We're gonna all eyes to the football, run. All 3 of their good middle linebackers run to the football, try to punch it out. Focus on turnovers, protect the football on offense. When you get a chance in the red zone, put it in. That's that's the plan to win, you know? For a lot of the best teams I was on, we'd always have a plan to win. You do, you know, these 4 things. And I think if you're talking about Arkansas, the plan to win is number 1, play great defense, force turnovers, don't turn it over, and score in the red zone.
Traylon Burks, what does he have to do to kind of add his impact in this game?
I think he has to find a way to make some big plays. I think he's probably the biggest offensive playmaker, and I mean, dude's a monster. When he gets going, it's just like, I was talking to some of the coaches about his numbers in the weight room, and you're talking about a guy that can squat 500, can bench what he wants. Like, he can make plays, and so at 225 and 6'4"-ish, whatever he is, and like find a way to get him the ball. And I like last week they got him the ball with some creative ways, but also if you can get him the ball down the field somewhat where he's got a chance to make someone miss and you can turn a 15-yard play into a 15-yard play, that's where I think you got a chance of really being able to separate and then show, you know, what he has a chance to be. Because I think when, you know, with his ability, it's, I mean, you know, people talk about him being a possible first-round pick and, you know, being someone that could be a game changer at the next level. But I think in moments like this is where you want to see it, and I'm excited to see how he performs.
Last question. Coach and KJ talked about when you have a big run, you feel so much more comfortable throwing the ball. Is that a sentiment you agree with?
Heck yeah. You get going, the momentum. I always want, it got me going too, you know, that momentum a little bit. You get a chance to, you know, like breathe and, you know, just get a feel into the game. I thought even last week, you know, watching from afar of KJ, after he made a big run, you could see him just, to me, I feel like he was even more settled in the pocket. And so, you know, if I'm one of the coaches, I get him going early, you know, get him hit for a second and then get him into the game, because you want him to play with confidence. Because, you know, I think, you know, when he plays that way, he has a chance to be an effective and a really good quarterback.
It's that time of the year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron to start the football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all of the pro and college football action this season. Get all of the updated odds, props, and contests, including the online's biggest $500,000 NFL mega contest, the world's largest 200,000 NFL Survivor contest, open now at BetOnline. Here's what you have to do. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 100% welcome bonus. Take advantage of their opening day super promo. Make a bet on the Thursday, September 9th season opener between the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. And if you lose, your wager's going to be refunded for up to $25 for new customers only when signing up and using the promo code NFL100. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts.